Hey y'all, we're gonna take a little time today to talk about the Jamal Bryant rebuttal story, binder rebuttal story. So, a couple of things. I want to kind of recap, review his little storyline that he did on his Instagram live. So we see that he was doing his preacher voice, y'all. Did you hear that? Talking very slow and deliberately. Did y'all see that? And it looked to me like he was reading off of a screen, like he had um like a script or his little speech typed out and he was reading. But I just noticed this stood out to me that he was doing his pastor voice, talking very slow and deliberately and using big words. Um it was about the whole thing. Instagram live was about 24, 25 minutes, and Um, he never really did address what the main idea of the story is. Did he fake the relationship to keep Giselle's job? Did he and Giselle work together to come up with the storyline of a relationship so that Giselle could keep her job? So he never did address that. Did they conspire and fake a relationship? Number one. And number two, he touched on it, but he never did go into it. Was the relationship with the other woman, was that going on during the same time? So let's get into this a little bit. He starts off talking about all that he's doing. So he's registering voters to vote for the Senate race, the Senate runoffs in Georgia. He's feeding the homeless. He's going to homeless shelters. He starts off with almost like a resume of what he's doing that's great and wonderful. Okay. And he goes into his busy schedule. He schedules about 56 interviews, 57 interviews a year. That's how popular he is. And that he never brings up, never discusses Real Housewives of Potomac. And then he goes on to say that he was wrongly accused of, not having a good relationship with his girls, and that was misrepresented. The relationship that he has with his daughters, according to him, is just great. It's just fine. They're daddy's girls, as he says. And the whole story wasn't told about the photo shoot. So according to Jamal, the photo shoot, remember that when Giselle and the girls were taking the pictures and the girls kind of had an attitude about them getting back together anyway? He says that all that was taken out of context, that he actually had been in Africa, and that his flight coming back from Africa to Potomac had been delayed in Germany, and that's why he was not there. And he said that story was not told. It wasn't like he was chilling, frolicking, as he can say, in Atlanta. He was actually on his way back from Africa. And he said that Bravo didn't say anything about it. Bravo didn't tell that. But get this, Giselle had the perfect opportunity to say that. She could have said, girls, your father is in Africa doing work with the poor, work with the homeless, or whatever, and that's why he's not here. But Giselle, who should have known that information because allegedly they were in a relationship at the time, allegedly, then she, that was her story to tell. So when Jamal says Bravo didn't say it, Bravo didn't tell the story, Bravo was hiding this, that, and the third, why Giselle didn't say it? Well, anyway, he says that he was in Africa. He had been in Africa, was on his way back. His flight got delayed in Germany. That's why he missed the photo shoot. Now, Giselle should have said it. She should have said it to the girls so that they wouldn't be upset or angry with Jamal. And she should have said it to the producers so they could put it on the show. She could have said it to the audience during the confessional. They tell everything else in the confessional. So he goes on to say that the girls are daddy's girls, that the photo shoot that he did not show up for was a year ago, The girls were upset at that point, angry because this was the first time in their lives that he would not be available to pick them up from school and take them to school, take them to school and pick them up. So according to Jamal, that was a year ago. And a year later, it's all good with the girls. Now again, the Africa plane getting delayed, getting laid over in Germany, that was a story that Giselle herself could have told. And that would have made her look better. Look at that. People are dragging her, saying that Jamal lives in her phone. Karen, asked, is he not proud of you because he never comes around? So that would have behooved her to let us know, hey, he's in Africa. He's on his way back from Africa doing a humanitarian mission. So she could have told that. And he goes on to say that he's been divorced for 11 years, that we should know that. He goes on to say that he was, in fact, dating a young lady who lives in New York during that same time. So talking slow and deliberately, using big words, you're doing his pastor voice, his pastor persona, I should say. He says that if you're not married, then you can't have a mistress. And he said he wasn't married, he was divorced at the time. So he was dating this woman in Atlanta. Now here's the thing. Even if you're not married, and I don't have to tell y'all this, but I'm going to say it. Even if you're not married, if you're in a relationship, if you're dating someone, if you're committed, if you're monogamous, yes, you can cheat. You don't have to be married to be in a committed, allegedly monogamous relationship. So when he says he was divorced for 11 years, he was single, he could date who he wants to date, do what he wants to do, that's not all the way true. Because we all know before you get married, you're dating, you're in love, some of you people live together, move in together, whatever the case may be, but you can't cheat on a girlfriend. And you certainly can cheat on a boyfriend. So you don't have to be married to cheat. So when he says, I wasn't married, I was divorced, I was dating this woman, I was free to do it. If he was allegedly dating Giselle, if he was allegedly working on his marriage, working on rekindling his relationship with Giselle, then yes, seeing another woman is breaking the rules. If your relationship with Giselle was real, if it was genuine, if it was authentic. And that's still a question that has not been answered. But he does admit that he was dating the woman in New York. If he was dating the woman in New York, and Giselle is telling people that they're working it out, that they're reconciling, then yes, that is cheating. That is breaking the rules. Yes, it is. And then he goes on to say that the woman had asked him, could she come to Atlanta? She lives in New York. She had asked, could she fly to Atlanta for his installation? And he said no. She had asked, could she fly to Atlanta for Memorial Day, to spend Memorial Day with him? Why Memorial Day and not, Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day or New Year's? I don't know. But he said Memorial Day was the holiday that she wanted to come for, and he said no. And then he said that she applied for a job on his staff and that he did not hire her because she was not qualified. So he's like saying that these are text messages that Monique should have brought out. And he had his binder too. So Monique had her binder the other night on Reunion Part 1. And then the good pastor had his binder too. So what was in the binder, I don't know. I guess the text messages that show that the woman wanted to come to his installation, that she wanted to fly down for Memorial Day. I guess those are the text messages that he had in his binder. But again, it's like kind of dancing around the storyline, dancing around the elephant in the room. If he's dating the woman in New York, at the same time that Giselle is saying that we're back together, it's great, it's wonderful, we're going to be a happy family, that's two women at the same time. So That's a problem. You can cheat before you are married. You can cheat on a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a fiance, an ex-wife if she's thinking that y'all are back together. He goes on to say that the girl was trying to start a magazine. The young lady in New York was trying to start a magazine or something, or was he talking about Monique? Well, anyway, he was going through trying to show us that the lady, the young woman from New York, that she had texted him and asked, can I do this? Can I come here? Can I go there? And he has texted back no. So that, I guess that was what was in his binder. He also said that the girl had never been to his church, that she asked to come and he said no. He said that the girl, the young lady from New York, the girlfriend had never been in his home in Atlanta, and that he had never been in her home in New York. Now, what he did say was whether they had met up somewhere. Long distance, she's in New York, he's in Atlanta. Did they meet up in another state? Did they meet up at the W, at the Ritz-Carlton, at the Le Meridien, at the Marriott Marquis, at the Marriott Courtyard? Did they meet up somewhere? So simply by saying, I've not been to her home, she hasn't been to mine, she hasn't been to my church, that's still dancing around the issue. You could have met at the Motel 6. So you can cheat on a boyfriend or girlfriend. You do not have to be married to cheat. You don't have to be married to be running around on somebody. And just because the person hasn't been to your home, that's not saying that you haven't been with the person sexually while you're in a relationship with your ex-wife, or alleged relationship, I should say. So after dancing around these issues, he gets back to all of the wonderful things that he's doing in the community and for the people. Again, touting his resume. Then he goes on to say that Monique is so hostile because the storyline, the tea, is that her youngest baby is for her trainer, and that Monique is angry and hostile and enraged with Giselle because Monique and Chris believed that Giselle poured the tea about the personal trainer. He also says that Chris, who's a retired football player, has CTE, and that because of this, he flies into rages and, he's very angry all the time and full of rage and violent mood swings and this, that, and the third, and that Monique lives in a house with a man who has violent rages, is prone to violent outbursts. Now, according to Jamal, several of Chris's former teammates have told him, they called Jamal and told him that Chris has CTE. Now, again, this is all hearsay. So somebody called you and said somebody has this. That could be anybody saying anything. That could be somebody just making stuff up, somebody lying, somebody that doesn't like Chris or Monique, whatever the case may be. But the main idea of the story is he's trying to deflect. He's trying to say, look, Monique is coming at me, but her life isn't perfect either. She's got dirt. There's dirt on her. There's tea on her. So he's basically, number one, touting his resume. He's doing this, doing that, doing this, that, and the third for the community, number one. And number two, dancing around the subject, deflecting. Were you in a relationship with Giselle or not when you were dating this woman? You do not have to be married legally to cheat. You don't have to be married to do somebody dirty, to do somebody wrong. Going to the woman's house in New York, her going to his church in Atlanta or his home in Atlanta. You can cheat without going to somebody's house. That's how most people do it. And then the thing about bringing up CTE and stuff, that man's HIPAA, I don't know about that. So I know that Monique is going to come back on this real strong. And then at the same time, y'all, think about this. If Jamal has so much to say, remember at the beginning of the interview, he says this is for clarity. This is not an apology. So if he has so much to say, why not come to the reunion, sit behind Giselle, and say it then? You see, he hasn't been on any episodes of this season. Robin and Juan's engagement Christmas party engagement party. He did not make it. He wasn't at the photo shoot. He says he was on his way from Africa. Flight got delayed in Germany. He wasn't at anything. He wasn't at the reunion. And so the fact remains that he never showed up for her at any point. And that's what she needed, was for him to show up at least one time for her, so she wouldn't look like she's making this whole relationship up, like it's in her mind or something. So anyway, he never was able to show up. And now at the 11th hour, he wants to come through with a binder. He wants to come through with a binder and read Monique down. But it's too little too late. He never completely answered the question. All he did was discuss his resume and deflect and dance around the question. The thing about Chris CTE, what does that have to do with whether he faked a relationship to keep Giselle on the show? What does that have to do with his having a full-on affair, love affair, entanglement, if you will, with a woman in New York, while Giselle's telling people that she and Jamal are reconciled? So Chris's CTE, alleged, right? The alleged word on the curb that Monique had a child with her trainer, all that, it's just deflecting, and he's saying that, Monique wanted revenge on he and Giselle because she and Chris believed that Giselle had poured that tea. So anyway, again, the Instagram live was about 25 minutes long, and Jamal spoke very deliberately in his preacher's voice. Looked like he was reading something off a computer screen, but he never did completely answer any questions or clear anything up or make Giselle look any better. So let's see what Monique says. Now Monique is going to come through with some more tea. She's going to come through with a rebuttal to this Instagram live this morning from Jamal Bryant. So we just have to stay posted for that. So hit me in the comments and let me know what you think. But I think that it was just basically 25 minutes of wasted time, because he never really did address any of the things that had been used to drag Giselle on the reunion part 1. No, he never did clear anything up, really and truly. It was just deflecting, dancing around the issue, and trying to, fake, Chris's HIPAA information. That, like I said, hearsay. Somebody said that Chris had this, somebody said Chris had that. Come on. Anyway, like this video. Please, 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 please like this video, and also follow me. Click the follow button, okay? All right, y'all. We're going to see what comes next with Monique. She's going to say something. And I'm ready. I'm going to be looking on Twitter tonight, because they'll be trending tonight. So I will talk to y'all later. Have a good afternoon.